Oh my goodness. Have you ever accessed your invisible bank? Your castle of gold? I love those two words. And I can't wait to learn more about how to access my invisible bank. Would you like to shift some of your low energy thought processes going on and some of your low energy behaviors? Change some of your habits around your invisible bank, maybe so that you can have unlimited access to it? Ooh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. You'll want to stick around. If you guys are watching from any other platform other than the Erin Strayer Show, there's a link right above you in the comments. Go ahead and click that. Come on over here. Join us here. We'll be able to see you and see your comments over here on the Erin Strayer Show. That's where we're live. That's where we talk about uplifting and leveraging amazing female entrepreneurs that are out in the world doing things differently. We talk about pain points and hot topics, things that we shove under the rug that we should really talk about. We bring them forward right here on this show, and we get those things talked about and resolved. Oh my gosh, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Erin Strayer. In recovering corporate, females hire me to get beyond the now what stage of business, because most are scared, confused, and playing way below average. We're going to talk about that today with our guest. I know we're gonna. So I help them revitalize, rejuvenate, and reignite their passion, providing sassy, transformational solutions, putting the zip back in their business. I'm going to give our guest, Galit, a 3-second warning. She's going to come forward. She is, there she is. Isn't she amazing? It's so good. Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. Super excited to be here. Super excited.
I know.
And the energy, the high vibe, I can feel it.
It's so good. Yeah, like your wheelhouse is life coaches, healers, psychics, executives, and you allow them and teach them how to tap into their personal value, which I think that is so important. And I love that. That's like your wheelhouse.
That's my passion, yeah. But I have more than one. I'm teaching a lot of things. I'm teaching a lot of things. Yeah. I'm teaching time. I'm teaching how to get clear on your passion, how to follow it. But right now, we're going to talk about one thing. One thing at a time. But there's going to be some elements from other things that probably are going to come in. But I mostly everything comes from my intuition. So it's kind of that's how things are coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Your invisible bank is really within you. So it's really about learning how to tap into it, because it's already there. It's just that there are things that just need to clear up. It's like clearing out the debris, as we say, the debris. So when you do that, and there's are easier ways than people think, because there is a lot of talk about the law of attraction. And let me tell you, I've used it. And I say that it works. It works as long as you you are in that space where you believe in yourself, you believe and you trust the universe. And that's some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about. And I'm going to talk to you about some new information that I have come around. It has to do with Carl Jung's archetypes. And Caroline Nice has spoken about it. And then there's another lady, Lorna Johnson, who also has developed it. And I have developed some sub-archetypes for it. And I will explain to you exactly how all of this really works, because I've come up, just downloaded from my intuition, some new ones that I know many people go through. So we're gonna talk about that.
Neat. So just for some clarification for people, and I know I get hung up on this word all the time, is that the actual word archetype. So like, what's your definition of an archetype? Just to start off.
For me, the definition of an archetype, when I'm talking about an archetype, is that I'm talking about a trait of personality that you may have, but it's a little bit more. It's like the patterns that you go through, and you're going to understand when I start talking about this, because there are certain patterns that people repeat one after the other, and then you think you got rid of it, and then it comes back and it repeats itself. It's like a cycle of experiences, a cycle of emotions, a cycle of thoughts that create the emotions. And so all of this, it's like you try something, you take an action, it doesn't work, and then you get frustrated, you get sad, and then you go back to taking the action, another action, and then the same pattern gets repeated, and you don't understand why you're stuck in the same place. So when you understand those archetypes, you're going to understand traits of your personality. You're going to understand some thoughts that you have that are creating this, some emotions, and so much more. So much more you're going to understand, because that is when Lorna has explained to me her archetypes. Is just, I started to understand what's going on. And just by talking about it, just giving people the awareness, people start to understand, hey, that's what I have to change. That's why I have been struggling all this time. And that is why I'm stuck. And it doesn't matter where you are in business, because sometimes you still may have this. So there are what we call lower archetypes, lower energy archetypes, and higher energy archetypes. And now there is another level, which I'm not going to talk here about, because most people need to understand the lower and then get to the light first. So I have here something, but I'm not sure if people are going to see. But I'm going to try. If I had my phone, it would be different. So this is the lower archetype. Just imagine that the line. I just want to show you the line. So this is the lower archetype, and you need to go to the light archetype. Okay, so you need to go to the light. So one of them, let's say in the lower archetype, an example would be something called the saboteur. Okay, now from the saboteur you have to get to the magician, and the saboteur is just what you understand out of it. But under the saboteur, I have some archetypes that I have come up with my own that I call sub-archetypes. And that is some of the things that I'm going to explain to you. So how is it going to help you, all of this? Let me explain to you. How is it going to help you? First of all, it's going to give you the awareness you need to know in what is the kind of patterns you are in. Once you are aware of what pattern you are in, and the kind of thoughts, the kind of emotions, the kind of attitudes you have towards life, you will understand what you need to shift. Simple like that. So I'm going to just explain it, and then I'm going to talk to you about certain solutions that I personally have found, because these archetypes also goes into what I call the feminine and the masculine energies and the balance in between. But I'm not going to start talking about that, because I'm then going to confuse everybody. So basically, I'm going to talk about that. And inside of them, we're going to talk a little bit about the feminine and the masculine. And I'm going to introduce you those little energies a little bit.
Yeah. And ultimately, like, I loved your words that you pushed forward to me about this invisible bank. And this all wraps up into that, doesn't it?
Yes. So all of this is, once you are aware of these patterns, you will be able to bring your invisible bank into your outer bank and really see the results that you desire into your actual bank account. So that is why I call it the invisible bank, the access, because first, we all know, and you all heard it, it's all the work that you have within. And what happens is you also have some attachments to all kinds of things. For example, for a long time, until before this summer, I had a strong attachment to my business. And so at some point I was teaching somebody else, guess what? And then I said, you know what? I gave her a reading and I said, because she was talking about her partner, and I said, you know what? Your partner is not your source of happiness. Your sources of happiness is something else that come within, and you need to find out what it is. Now, so for me, my business, I said, if I don't have this business, like I'm dead, I don't want to leave. And after working on myself and everything, I came to the conclusion, you know what? My business is not my source of happiness. And what came up this summer is my source of happiness is my creativity and the unconditional love that I have for myself and for other people. So that is what it means when something comes from inside of you, because we hear it all around, but do we really know what it means?
Right. And diving deep, I think, is the key to finding that true source of happiness. And I think it's probably pretty surprising to most people.
Yes, it's something that you really are not going to expect at all. At all. It could be your creativity. Mostly it's going to be the love, the unconditional love for yourself, for the world. It could be, I don't know, it could be so many things, but it's not going to be something from the outside, a partner or a business or any other. It could be an achievement. Achievement also could be something, but you have to be careful about the achievement from the inside and not the achievement from the outside.
Oh,
It's
so
that is the secret. So I think I have come with a better explanation of what it really means. And I want to say, I love achievement. I am an achiever. I love it. I love when I accomplish something, when something works. I'm very result oriented person. So
I want to know how many of our viewers raise your hand or put an emoji of some sort in the comments if you're a result oriented achiever, if achievement means anything to you in the real life. I love it. I love it. Like achievement means all kinds of things to me, and I hang on to that, right? More than anything else. So, yeah. So, I'm going to
for
let you keep
me,
going. Yeah, go ahead.
For me, for example, right now, if it's an inner achievement, I would say if I have inspired someone, and I just want to give you an example on how I did that. I did I did a video in one of the groups, and I had the courage to share something nobody will share. And if anybody will see that video, they will say I was crazy. But I wanted to detach myself from shame, from something that I was shameful of, and I wanted to detach myself from the let's say continue the detachment of being not having approval at all. And believe me that what I shared there, which I'm not going to share with you what it was, it really detached me for any approval. And you know what it did? It changed somebody's life, because she then did a video and she really released her shame about something. So I just wanted to imagine, and she told me, you changed my life by this video. So just by going and doing, having the courage to just follow your intuition, even if you are scared to death, is really going to change everything.
Interesting. So how do we know what they are, and how do we know how to start, like
Okay,
identifying them?
so I'm going to talk to you today about the saboteur, the sub-archetypes in the saboteur. So I'm going to start with the insatiable.
Ooh.
Okay. What does it mean, the insatiable? The insatiable means when you are absolutely not satisfied with anything in your life, even if you have the best success in the world. But you still feel that no matter what, you're never enough. What you do is never enough. Nothing is good enough. It's like this loop of perfection.
Ooh.
And what happens many times is sometimes you may have success, and sometimes you can be so perfectionist that you may just stop yourself from really manifesting what it is that you desire. So that is how the insatiable, knowing about this, how it can really change your life is, instead of being unsatisfied with everything that you want, is really what you can do is start to appreciate everything that you have. Now, I know that what I'm saying is totally not easy to do. It's really very, very hard to do. So basically, because I was in this place, where I didn't feel good enough. And here is what I did. Because my issue was not trusting the universe.
Mm.
So what I did with this insatiable, I said, I can do it. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. But I'm going to tell you more of what I did later, because it's something you will not expect at all. So stay tuned. Stay tuned, because it's something that you really are not expecting that I did. So this is the insatiable. If you want to know more about it, there's a program coming up in the beginning of October. There's going to be a link to speak to me about a session, the Unleash Your Inner Castle session with me, Castle of Gold. So in that, I'm gonna talk to you specifically, pinpoint what is your archetype, and what is the personality, and what you can do in order to cut the pattern.
Yeah, cool.
So that's the insatiable. Now, it's really when you're not satisfied with anything. So the next one is, let me see my notes. Where are my notes? Oh, okay.
I don't know. We might only have time to cover two of these. What's the next one?
The workaholic.
Oh, I'm not that.
So the workaholic is the person who always wants to work really, really hard for many, many, many hours. It's again has to do connected to the insatiable, where you want to have everything perfect. Okay. And the workaholic will say, I can only have money if I work hard. I can only have success if I work hard.
Ooh,
Which all of you,
is this lining up with anybody on right now with us? I need to drop an emoji.
And it's coming. What happens in the end is you enter a burnt out, you're getting exhausted, and you think you are productive, but you're really not. So that's the workaholic. Not only that, but it goes under another archetype called the prostitute, which the prostitute has no value for herself. That's the archetype. Don't take it as the word. I know the word is very like,
right.
Yeah, very. But what happens is the workaholic is the sub archetype I came with under the prostitute, because the prostitute has absolutely no value. She always has to prove her value. Always has to prove her value. So what happens is many times that person will have $0, or they're going to get a little bit of money, but then they're going to lose the money, or something is going to happen. And so you get into that loop where you always gain, you lose, or sometimes you're not making anything.
Yeah. That's I think that lines up with a lot
I'll work
of people.
harder. Yeah, so you say, I'll work harder because I have to work harder. Then I'll make more money. You see, but then you didn't work on your invisible bank. The invisible bank, you don't believe in it. You don't believe it's there. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in your abilities, and you certainly do not trust the universe. So, and I want to say just quickly, money is masculine energy. So there has to be a balance between the masculine is the provider. So that means your provider is not really working well. And the feminine is the fun part, the intuition part, the relaxation part. So what happened is, in order to break some of this, one thing I did is I took off the whole summer, several months, and I did, guess what? Nothing,
Dang.
nothing, nothing, nothing. And you know what happens in the nothing when you simply have fun and you do nothing? You are balancing your feminine. You are balancing your feminine, masculine. And by balancing your feminine, masculine, creativity comes in, direction comes in, because I had no direction whatsoever. I didn't know where I'm going anymore. So, and then there is this detachment. And what I want to explain to you, when you have that, there is a detachment that is starting to form, a detachment of whatever it is you put the intention to detach yourself from. For me, it was my business, detaching myself from my business. So once you do that, something happens all by itself. Don't ask me how. It just happens. It just happens. And what is important to do, what it requires, is complete trust. Complete trust that actually it will heal you.
Wow.
And so that is how this whole fun thing works. And it's very unusual. And there's something else that's going on, but I don't, as I said, if you want to know more, come to my program.
Well, let's like talk about that for a second, because we're coming down hot and heavy on the end of our time here already. Because there's two more archetypes and sub-archetypes I know that get to be covered, but we don't have time today. And I think it's like really super valuable to get educated on what those are and how they affect us. And the end result is, you know, that allows us to tap into our inner bank and what that is. And if we're not being respectful and acknowledging those habits and behaviors and, you know, those personality types of the archetype that we have, then we are in essence leaving money on the table.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
Here is the thing. In order, where is my, come on, it disappeared. Okay, so here is the thing.
Yep.
You some of you may be in the lower archetype, or you may be here. So let's take the archetype of the saboteur with all the sub archetypes of the insatiable and the workaholic and many others that I will be talking to you in the program, that you will learn more in the program. So you have to, so from these lower archetypes, by changing your habits and thoughts and patterns, and by doing the fun thing that I told you about and all that, you start to go up into the magician. So you're going from saboteur to the magician, which is the light archetype. And the light archetype is the one that is able to create success, is the one that is able to create income, is the one that is able to create and bring your desire into life.
Yeah, and so, don't we all want that?
Yes. So your invisible bank is inside. You just have to bring that invisible bank outside into the light, from darkness to the light.
So let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about this program that you have coming up and what it looks like. When it starts. It's called, what'd you call it? You called it the Castle of Gold?
Yeah.
Is that what you called it?
The inner castle of gold. Your inner castle of, unleash your inner castle of gold. Unleash your inner castle of gold. So it's the inner castle of gold is the same thing as your invisible bank. It's just two different words that I adore.
I love that. I love that. When you push that forward, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I love it.
So here is what happens. In order to unleash it, we need to bring you from your lower archetype by changing your thoughts, false beliefs, energy, and so many more, and patterns, cutting all the patterns and everything, into the light. So that is where my zone of genius is. So we are going to look at all the ways that you self-sabotage yourself, all the false beliefs that you have. We're going to identify all those archetypes. We are going to work on those archetypes on how to bring you from low to high. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring you to the upper side, to even a higher consciousness than that.
Oh,
So that
good.
is
Yeah.
that is what this program is all about.
How long is the program, Galit?
So the program is going to start in October, around October 3rd. I think it's a Wednesday. So look for the beginning when it's a Wednesday. I think it's October 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct.
And afterwards, we're gonna have two sessions. So Monday is going, so once a week is going to be a question and answer call, and every Wednesday you're going to have a training call of about an hour to an hour and a half, so you can still have time to ask questions and so forth. And not only that, you also going to have some surprise live streams that you don't expect, that whatever my intuition comes, so I'm going to give you even more value. But in order to learn about all this program and all that, and I hope I didn't forget any other information, but if you do have questions, please ask. I'm inviting you first in order to give you all the information so we can get acclimated to each other, let's say, introduced. I'm giving you a special today where you, and I don't like the word special. I really don't like it. Anyway, so you're getting an Unleash Your Inner Castle call with me, a one-on-one, where we are going to look to identify all those patterns, okay? And I'm also going to show you some solutions on what you can start doing. We're going to come up with a plan for you on what are some things that you can work on and do that is absolutely customized for you. And at the same time, I'm going to explain to you more about the program, how to get into it, and answer all your questions and so forth. Beautiful. So yeah, so that's and there's a link to it.
You're going to drop that in here when we're done chatting?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so people can go. Do you also have a group, Galit, or no? Do you have a group that people go and hang out in?
You mean a Facebook group?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do have one, but I am going to reinvent it completely.
Yeah.
It's going to be reinvented completely, and it's called The Big Dreamers, but it's going to change its name to Unleash Your Inner Castle of Gold.
I love it. I love it.
Your Invisible Bank.
You guys, we have been talking to Galit Lazar. She is an amazing wealth of knowledge. She's a fellow Canadian. I'm not from Canada, but I feel like I am. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, you have your own radio show. You're a health coach. You're a medium. You're an author. You are a specialist in time management and organizing and self-worth expert. Your whole focus is is releasing subconscious blocks. Am I right?
Yes, that's exactly what I do. Yeah, it's exactly what I do. There were some words, not health. There's nothing considered to health. I'm not doing anything with health. I don't know where you got that. No,
I made it up. I made it up.
Passion, I do time, and I do worthiness and confidence.
Yeah,
that's what I do. And I'm a best-selling co-author.
I know. I love that. I love that. And like a really big focus of yours is specifically on that confidence connected to your worth, which is your inner bank, which end result is the real bank gets full.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So you're filling and you're bringing, that's what I teach. I help you to bring your invisible bank into reality.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, this lady is like super magnetic. Her vibe is the same as mine. It is so high level. I know somebody on the comments says, "Wow, two loud ladies." It was back, and I'm like, "Yep, hang on, because it's gonna be a ride today." And you guys, I love what Galit brings forward. I love the program that she's developed. I love that her energy is where it's at and it's in the right place. And I really feel that if you want some extra knowledge on your inner bank and how it can increase your outer bank, you get to spend some time with Galit. So she's going to drop her links in the feed when we're done. If you guys have been here with us, for the last half hour, we absolutely 100% appreciate you being on live with us. If you're watching the replay, make sure you'll, hashtag replay for us and let us know what you thought about the show. We really appreciate all the feedback that comes forward, and we strive to push that forward. But Galit, thank you so much for your time today. And I just want more and more and more of this inner bank information and these different archetypes and the sub-archetypes and how we can push those forward. So you guys, I highly encourage you to go hang out with her and at least go and check out her program and see what it's all about. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, Galit. I appreciate that. You guys, we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Erin Strayer Show. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Erin, for having me over.
You're welcome. Hang out.
I really appreciate it.
Hang out for just a second with us, honey, okay? See you, everybody.